Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks and Removes for another week. My name is Richard Lee, and I manage the stockradar.com.au website. Today's date is the 19th of September 2024. Okay, new high spark mammoth rally. So that's the theme today. We're going to look at some of those stocks. We've seen some new trends, some new highs recently. We're in that mode where the market is doing it, so we've got to capitalise on that, and we'll talk about that a bit as I go on today. But positive thoughts this week. Firstly, we've got some great top trenders. Pro Medicus, Ansell, IAG, WiseTech, Fisher & Paykel, JB Hi-Fi, all doing different things, but all going up, which is what we want to see. So they're making new highs, and shot out of the gate new highs, which we've really seen, which have been actually all-time new highs, have been things like JB Hi-Fi, WiseTech, Technology One, and they've just gone gangbusters since those highs were made. So it just shows that perspective is an interesting thing, and trying to understand price movement is important, not worrying about the price levels too much, worrying more about the actual price action. So that's how we get into those. Okay, so that's we'll go to the top 10 for the moment. Now we've got a lot of top 10 ratings, as members will probably know, having looked at the site. But if you take a try, you can go and see there's a lot of stocks in this position. Here's a cross section of them at the moment. Aristocrat's still doing pretty well after making new all-time highs. Ansell has reversed nicely, and you can see it here. It's done a reversal back above $25. It's now hit resistance about 30, got through there, and the next level is about $40. So it's all looking good, Ansell. It's had a trend reversal. It's got good volume, momentum's good. So all trending attributes are there for Ansell, so it looks pretty good. Surprised us maybe, because it has gone down from $40 to $20, but it's back on the up for the moment. Okay, you've got ARB Corp, we've got a few property stocks, Charter Hall, Stockland's in there. We've got MQG, which is broken higher, Newmont doing well, Net Wealth, and Ramelius Resources, another one doing quite well. So that's a cross-section of top 10s that are doing very nicely for us at the moment. Our stock pick count this week is actually flat at 67 of 178. 51 stock picks. We lost 2 and we gained 2. There's actually 2 in, 2 out. So that makes us flat this week. So there are entries and exits there. And 16 ETFs of 24. Okay, so just a little update on portfolios this week. The market's been a lot better. We like it when it moves up. We don't like it when it moves sideways because it's hard. But that's the way the market is. So we just make sure that we're conservative when the market's correcting, and then we're jumping on things when the market's moving like now. So you can see even the conservative portfolio has got 7 out of 10 stocks in there, which is probably pretty good for that portfolio. So 70% equities, 30% cash, a little bit of a cushion there, running at about 10.5% over the 21-year period we've been running that. Okay, so that's been a nice steady trender. Our premier portfolio, the Energizer 5 stock, is sitting up there at 5 out of 5, 100% in equities. It's running at 16%. That's starting to creep up a little bit again as this market starts to mobilise. So that 16% is a good return over those 21 years. We've got the Energizer 10 stock, slightly less volatile, a little bit steadier, suits some people. We are still full, 10 out of 10. 100% equities there, running at 12.5% over that period, which is fantastic. And our 2 shorter portfolios here, which we've run, both of which have included those 2 years, which were pretty tough there, of sideways movement. It was difficult to make money, and they were fairly flat. But they're now starting to perform a bit better. The one we started in August 20, 4 years ago, is now full at 5 out of 5, 100% equities. It's running about 9.1, so it's started to pick up quite well lately. We've got some good stocks picks in there, which I'm going to have a look at in a second in those portfolios. And also the more recent one, the March 21, which doesn't have quite as much of that bad stuff in there. It's running at about 11.3%, and it is also full. So all the Energizers are full because there's lots of stock picks out there. There's lots of trending stocks for us to jump on. So those portfolios are all looking pretty good at the moment. For us, if you want to have an explanation of these portfolios, go to the website, look at our portfolio, look at our strategy there, and you can see how we run those portfolios and what the difference is for them. Okay, so let's now get to the overseas markets. We've done all that sort of stuff. So overseas markets, okay, let's just go to the Dow to start with. Again, not a lot happened last night. If this is a buy the rumour, sell the fact, the sell the fact hasn't really worked too well here, or else the buyers are very strong because the market hasn't really done much in response to that cut. So the market's still in an uptrend. So really nothing to worry about at the moment. You can worry about worrying, but it doesn't really help.
The market is in an uptrend. The Dow Jones making new highs, so why would you worry at the moment? The Nasdaq, well, not quite as strong at the moment. It is in a weekly uptrend. It is chopping about a bit at the moment. We know the tech stocks can be volatile. We've seen a bit more selling here than probably the other indices. So we're just watching this. We've got a lower high here, which we haven't got through. We just touched and retreated again there. So we're watching the Nasdaq pretty carefully, and the S&P also. It failed at its high. It tried to get through again last night, but didn't. So it's just a little rotation at the moment. Nothing to worry about, that's for sure. While it remains above this support bubble. So these markets, to me, are all still well intact. As our market is, which is actually making new highs. It made a new high in early January. It made a new high again in July, and it's making a new high this week. So this is good. Momentum's okay. The trend is up. And there's no signs of anything there untoward, apart from the fact what we won't worry about, which we don't need to, because the price is going up, and that's what we only need to worry about. Okay, so gold, it's just happily going higher, continuing its trend very, very nicely. Solid buying, good momentum. The uptrend is totally intact there, so that's good. Copper, not such a good story. Mainly, the commodities are basically down, most of them, apart from gold. So this has been a very weak little attempt here. Not much volume in this year with copper, so I'm not really very hopeful there. And crude, it broke below support, but it's holding up here at the moment, so it's sort of dallying around the support level. So we'll just have to watch that. A bit of buying has come in here. Momentum's still pretty weak, so the pressure's still down there. Maybe a little bit of support's coming in, but no biggie there. Okay, so that's the overseas markets and how they look, commodity markets and our market. Now let's get to the real nitty-gritty, which is the stocks. So I just want to go through four of the trending stocks that we've had of lately, so you can see why and what's happened there, and how they can all of a sudden change these markets very quickly. We know Westpac dropped from something like $40 down to about, well, looks like about $16 there. And it's sort of finally, took a long time, but it finally changed its trend. And so if we just focus on what we've got at the moment, since we broke here, had this switch thrown through here, which I always look for those moving averages, a downtrend line and a horizontal line, which gives me three strong bits of evidence that there could be a change in trend. Okay, and here in the case, the horizontal line gave me a reversal point. Okay, so this was a reversal point for Westpac. We had good volume here and good momentum. So the trend intensity rating probably was about 10 when it started, and strangely enough, it is still 10. It really hasn't done much. Had a little bit of a correction here from March through to about July, sideways sort of movement, but it's back off again, and it's really rocketing high and catching up. And this one here, Westpac, has actually risen 56% in the last 12 months, and you compare that to the Premier Bank CBO is risen 43%. So Westpac's actually outperformed over last year, coming off a lower base, I know, but still the performance has been something exceptional, and we've got a very, very good break here and a very, very good signal, and it's been a very good trade for us. Okay, now we go to WiseTech, which again made a new high back here in early this year in March. Okay, dilly-dallied around for a few weeks, but then finally again, it's a bit about why you don't jump out just because you're nervous. You wait for your stop to go off. You may want to jump out if you like, but if you wait for your stop to go off, you never know what can happen. And when you look at something like WiseTech, which has gone from $90 to $130 in about a 5-week period, you really want to be on that unless you've got a good reason to get out of WiseTech. So I know it was tough here for a few weeks, but it did eventually get on a spike, and we know the history of WiseTech, it just continues to outperform. So we just lift our stop on this one and watch this one continue high. Trend intensity rating 10, all the trending attributes are there: price action, volume, moving average, and momentum. Okay, JB Hi-Fi, another one. Well, you sort of all the economists and things tell you about retail doing it tough, but I tell you what, JB Hi-Fi doesn't think so, because its business is humming along, and it made a new high back about July this year, not long ago, $65, and it's now $79. So that's a pretty good rally pretty quickly. Trend intensity rating is 10. It's just a simple new high. We take the new high and we protect it with a stop. Okay, and if the price goes up, we raise our stop, the price goes down and hits our stop, we get out. Simple process. Manage your risk, but it'll be exposed to a trend, and that's what we try and do. So here we are lifting our stop, so it's well in the money at the moment. We can see we've got great volume through here, momentum kicked high, it's been above the average, and we've got a generally nice little uptrend here, pushing this sort of momentum move we've got. So JB Hi-Fi, don't worry about the price levels. 65 might have been a rich level a few weeks ago, but not today. It's a cheap level. Okay, so then we go to Technology One, another stock. And this is what happens when markets are moving. They jump, they move fast. And technology one's gone from 17 to 23, $24 in a matter of weeks again, or maybe a couple of months. But it's done it very well. We just triggered a new high here, which triggered a market imbalance, and this imbalance has continued on as the markets remain strong. Trend intensity is just rating at 8. It's just a little bit of a sideways movement here, but generally volumes have been good, momentum's have been good, so why would you worry about it? You wouldn't. You would just lift your stop and let that dictate what happens. Remember, we're remaining in total control of what we're doing, and that's because we don't let the market control us. We control what we do. We can't control the market. It will do what it does, and there's going to be danger periods where we need to protect ourselves. And difficult periods, but in the long run, we want to be making more money than losing money, and that's the aim. That's what we do. So don't be afraid of taking a loss every now and then. It does happen, but really, at the moment we've got these great stocks running, and that's why we want to be on them. Okay, so that's 4 hot stocks we've got. So now is the time really to be in the market. So I'm going to look at a couple of stocks, a couple of opportunities that may be becoming a technology one or a JB Hi-Fi, possibly. Okay, so we've got to firstly go to Qantas, which we did look at last week, but you can just see the performance now. It's behaving like it wants to go higher. Now, I mean, I know there's been a lot of negative sentiment from our point of view, but as a business, I think things are going a lot better there. So, and I think also with the disappearance of Bonza and Rex, they've been able to increase their prices, which is a great thing. So revenue goes up. So the market seems to like this one. So if we look at Qantas on a longer term basis here, let me just get all the chart up. We can see what happened. That's the all-time high back there in 2019, up around $7.28, and we're currently about $7.18. So we can see here we've been a sideways pattern for a while, but slowly this market's got on some high lows, starting to create higher highs. Then we get a break above this resistance here, which just gives us a signal, and now we're testing the all-time highs, which is even better. All-time highs, Technology One, WiseTech, JB Hi-Fi, they all did it. So who knows what Qantas is going to do? As I said before, sentiment's probably an interesting spot because it's probably negative in some areas. So there's still probably plenty of buying that can come into this market, into Qantas. You know, it'd be lovely if they started paying dividends or something like that. But anyway, that might be a while off. But we have a break higher here. We have good volume. We have good momentum. It's above the average. All those trending attributes we want are there for Qantas. So the potential is very, very good for Qantas to move higher again. Okay, the next one I want to look at, which we have looked at over the weeks, is Macquarie Bank. For those of you who have followed it, you've seen you've watched us go through this period here. We saw this little resistance area here. It broke higher. It got through to the highs. And Macquarie Bank has been in this sideways pattern for a long time. 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 years. Okay, so this is a very big, important break for Macquarie Bank. The rating is plus 10. It's above the average. Volume is okay. And momentum is good. So it's still rating 10. This is a big consolidation and a nice base to put below the price now. So so we're hopefully looking for a new uptrend period from here with this new high. Trend rating is 10 for Macquarie. And don't watch it go higher, get on it and make sure you're in it, as we should have been with this one here. And the next one I'm going to look at is ALS, which has also made a new high, new all-time highs. Again, we've got this high-low starting to develop here, so we've got evidence building here quite nicely, and then we get a signal, which is a new high, and it triggers a new high. It runs on quite well. We're having a little bit of a pullback at the moment, but it seems okay. The last couple of weeks it's been dragged off its lows, which has been a good sign. But the trend is up. It's above the average. A bit of selling has hit here, hasn't dented the market too much, so we're a bit wary, but we'll just watch this one. And momentum is still high on the index. So the trend intensity rating is 8, so it's just slowed a little bit, but still very, very positive, and we're above the new high. Just remembering our stop is what will tell us. Don't worry about shouldn't get out. Wait till your stop is hit. If your stop is hit, you get out. If it's not, you raise it, and that's what we do. So there's a couple of new high opportunities for you to watch and monitor, and there are plenty more on Stockradar that you can see that are getting ready, set to go. And in this market, the way it's behaving at the moment is fantastic. So this is when we make hay while the sun shines. Okay, so that's the stocks I got for you today. I think I just mentioned to you of the percentage rallies there, and those rallies there, JB Hi-Fi is up about 25%, WiseTech is a 49% rally, and Technology One is about 40%. So they're pretty big rallies, and we're still in those at the moment, so they're pretty good. Right, okay, so now I just want to go to look at some of the stocks that we were in those portfolios. So the Energizer portfolios, the 5 and the 10 stock are the best performing portfolios. The 5 stock is the best one. And within those portfolios, I have these stocks. Prometheus, which has been a real growth stock. IAG is a steady trender. Ben's come in nicely, making a new high. And some of these property stocks, Vicinity, Charter Hall, General Property Trust, are all doing really well. We've got a gold stock in there, which is nice, Newmont, and we've got AOQ, and we've got Premier Investments. So that's a cross-section of some of the 5 and 10 stocks, and even things like WiseTech and WiseTech and Technology One aren't even in there. So they'll be in some other portfolios, but not these ones. But these ones are fine, and they're doing very well, and our portfolios are doing very nicely. Thanks very much. Okay, so that's really the portfolios and what we've got. Keep an eye out for these new highs. Just have a little play, have a little go, see what happens. I think at the moment the market's gone up a long way, and it is a bit hard to find the reality of it going higher again. But we've got to get used to things like what happens with JB Hi-Fi, Technology One. Stocks go higher, indices go higher, and we don't expect them to go higher, and that's how the market works. Okay, so at the moment we can worry and we can ponder, but the reality is if you have a trend, you follow it until told otherwise. Okay, now we're not industry based, we're stock based, so I'm really talking about stocks here. Your rules will decide whether you stay with a trend or not, being aware that both big and small corrections will occur. We don't want to be exposed to the big corrections, and that's where our risk management kicks in, which doesn't allow us to be exposed to big trends. We have to get out of our positions before they occur. So that means our whole bias is on our big trending stocks like Technology One, like a JB Hi-Fi, WiseTech. That's where we make the money. Okay, so how can I help you? Well, by understanding the trading principles of process and discipline as it relates to trading trends and ensuring your risk is always managed. It's a very simple thing to keep our focus on these things, which makes life a lot easier for everybody and much more stress-free, because it's really a step-by-step process. If this happens, you do that. If that happens, you do this. So we stay in total control of what we're doing, and that's how we make money in the stock market. So now is the time to maximise the trend opportunities the market is presenting us with. Identify, react and respond without fear and with confidence, okay? If you do nothing else in this market, jump on a new high, protect it with a stop and see what happens. You don't even know. Okay, watch your trends, heed your stops, stay safe, and I will see you all next week. Thanks very much.